beat me to it. Look at all of you chatting away. Hello, hello. What day is it today? Is it Wednesday, the 20th of December, 2023? Did I get the date, the day, the month, and the year right? I know I'm a little bit late, but hey, you can't always win, right? Anyway, thank you guys for waiting for me. Let's go. Squirrel says, good morning. Hi, Shan. Hey, good morning. Yeah, some of you guys, it's still morning. We are just in the afternoon here on the standard East Coast time. Very interested to see um all's reaction to this. Mine is ugh. MJ, I rewatched that video of Illuminated Minds and I put it in I already linked it in the description. So for anybody who hasn't watched it or hasn't watched it more than once, I say watch it again or definitely watch it if you haven't yet. It's really good. Let's get into it. One sec. I have so many mixed thoughts, MJ. I know Shan is very professional about the whole thing. I got to give that to you, Shan. You really carry yourself well in situations like that. So good for you. I can't. I'm just too, hysterical, too emotional. I go from grateful to enraged to bombed and back around again. All right, let's see what else do we got. CB, squirrels, you know how I feel over all the though MJ, where is Doug in all of this? Yeah, and why in the hell is Nick Rand trying to build his career off of a dead child? Yeah, I'm saying it. I'm just so effing done with the crap. And you know what? Duty Ron show has become duty, like Doody. And that freaking redhead, man, she can just bite Nick and the duty. Wow. Freaking a-holes is what they are. That is exactly what they are. They're disgusting pieces of crap, and I'm not sorry. I even have a hat that says sorry, not sorry. Maybe I'll grab it. But no, I'm Captain America for the moment. Okay. Yeah, I'm not crazy, don't worry. I'm right here with you, Shan, flipping, spinning cycles. Yeah, and hey, Annie Ruler, I've been after DB since day one. Double ugh. Michael McAllister, hello. I'm almost caught up. I try to maintain my facts over feelings. Try. Yeah, but to me, the fact is that they're pigs and that they're doing this off of a dead little girl. And then that redhead called her a young woman. No, 16. Yee. That's a child. That's a kid. That's a baby, in my opinion. I have babies. My oldest baby is 21. My next oldest baby is 19. Next to that is 16, and he is a freaking baby. He's actually doing his driver's test right now. And then the baby's doing his driver's test. And then my youngest is going to be 12 next month. But yeah, 16 is not a woman. My 21-year-old, yeah, she's a woman. And my 19-year-old, I guess he's a man. I mean, he's serving in the military and he's married, so that kind of qualifies him. My little baby who's like towering over me, my incredible Hulk. Let's see, what did I miss? I try to maintain, yes. And squirrels, you do great. You are just killing it. You're live the night before last. I am so impressed by your consistency and your attitude. I called it a ratitude yesterday, but just so you know that, I love rats. I'm a mama rat. All my babies are baby rats. Rats are smart. Rats are totally misunderstood. They are like some of the smartest creatures. And so, yeah, when I say ratitude, I mean like a kick ass attitude. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm saying it's a very good thing. That lady had me effed up when she said that. This teens are being called kids when they're young adults. And the one You are so right, Shan. They do call the 18-year-olds kids, don't they? Like, this is the gaslighting effery, you guys. It just is prolific. It's insidious. It's unbelievable. And the one who is the kid is the one being called a young lady. Yeah, like, no. Thank you, Shan. Well said. Josh has all the behind the scenes, love to pick his brain. You know, mm, yeah. And MJ says where my head has been. Okay. So, of course, I found my notebook yesterday after my live. I had like done some chicken scratch notes right before I started just so I'd have a little security blanket. I don't just want to fly like free fall without any notes just because I'm a creature of comfort and habit. But I do like having my freaking notebook because I have these thoughts all the time. Like sometimes I'm driving down the street, I literally pull over to jot down a note because if I don't, it's gonna probably be gone. So, you know, um, those are some of my best ideas. So when I have my notebook in front of me and I can just like rattle off all my great ideas, I'm so proud of myself by the end of my video. I'm like, yeah, man, I'm killing it. But then I don't always have my notebook. I can't find it. Yesterday I had it. I just didn't know that I had it. And I just get so frustrated because it's just one thing after another. I did put my mic in already. So yeah, the sound yesterday sucked until I put the mic in, and then it was almost stellar, right? It's a good mic. It's just this little tiny thing. Um, and my lighting's getting better, I think. Is it? I'm not going to touch nothing. Um, and what else? I've been reviewing some of my older videos because there's some material in there I want to talk about. But I do want to try to keep up with you guys. I want to go over my disclaimer so I don't get in trouble. Trouble ahead, trouble behind. Um, let's see. I think Josh has some footage, just my thoughts. That lady had me effed up. Yeah, okay, I already read those things. Sorry. Um, Devin does as well. Lying like he wasn't in that other hot air balloon. Yeah, I omitting the truth is also lying. And in rewatching Illuminated Minds video, the simple question when Redhead asks Nick, do you think she was red rummed? And he says, no. Long pause and then like a question mark after the no. But I can't speculate or elaborate. I'd rather not elaborate, whatever the hell it was that he said. No. Actions speak louder than words. His hesitation spoke for itself. The tone and the dead silence after the one word answer. And then I'd rather not speculate. It's like he kind of answered it the opposite of how he was answering it. And to me, that's just messed up. Like, you're a grown ass man. Like, man up. Show some self respect, dude. I have lost all respect for him. I really have. Um, let's see. Hey, Nico. Hola. And Annie Ruler says Ashley Banfield described the man D saw as over 5'10, left off to 6 feet. I commented that she is misleading. Yeah, we'll talk about Idaho 4 too, because there's a lot of simple BS from Jump. And you guys saw that there was a brand new crime circus just like an hour ago. Really good, as usual. But yeah, the thing that gets me is the 22,000 Elantras that those poor man babies had to sift through. When Chief Fry is like, oh my God, we got 22,000 Elantras and 10,000 emails. Leave us alone. Send us your tips, but we're having so much trouble sorting through all the freaking tips. Like, oh, we just feel so sorry for you, you freak. Get out of law enforcement. Ugh, and Divine Pathways did a read on Fry yesterday, and I could not agree with her more. She was like right on the same page as me. What's jacked is he didn't show his footage in the balloon. He used Josh's. Yikes. Love your background and great to see everyone today. Thank you. I love my background too, and it is lovely to see you all. And it's so fun when I'm having trouble keeping up with you guys, but I'm going to try. Sorry for my lack of participation. John Courtney, you're fine. I've been ill for over a month. Much love to all. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Did you have the COVID or the Rona or something else? MJ Maxi, something is being held back. I think guilt is starting to set in. I think that Illuminated Mind, Squirrels on Fire, Ninja, Divine Justice, Kenny, Mark Molina, I think that everybody's making some headway, just pushing and nudging and just being persistent and being consistent. Those freaks are shaking in their boots, in my humble opinion. And everything I say is simply my opinion, simply for the sake of conversation, hoping to open up a discussion and learn something and be educational. And all my videos to date have been made for YouTube. So yeah, that was speaking just a little pressured, huh? I still have my love will save the day sign, my thumb, hit that like button, and the two kitty cats that my 16-year-old, my baby 16-year-old, 3D printed. And I made a new sign yesterday. I got to show it off. Do you like it? I changed it up. Subscribe, share, notify. It's hard to make this. It's all with Sharpies and a stencil thing. It took me forever, but it was fun. Okay. Sending get well soon vibes to John. Yeah, let's all of us pray for John Courtney's speedy recovery and bouncing back to 100%. Keep you in my prayers, Miss Jazz, Justice Warriors. Hello, Mrs. Amir Zaza. Sunny here near Chicago. Rain in 50s for Christmas. Yeah, it's so sunny here. I have everything like double blacked out. Feel better, John. Michael says, hello, hang in there. I really hope that you get well soon, John. Squirrel says, snow here. What? Oh, yesterday I think we had snow, or the day before. I cleaned a little over 2 inches off my car to get Fee his energy drinks. Oh my goodness. Wow. Yeah, we just had like a dusting. I watched, but yeah, it's been super cold and sunny. I watched the moment 5 times, rewind. There was a huge remark he made. That was a huge remark he made. In regards to Nick answering the question, right, I figured that's what you were talking about. Thanks for clarifying, MJ. I'm limiting what I consume these days on YouTube, or I misread that, but same thing. I'm limiting what I consume on these YouTube streets. I know, it's freaking nuts. I've quit watching a lot of what I used to watch. I'd rather work on vector designs than consume garbage. Yeah, I'm not into the garbage consumption, but I am into finding good channels, but I'm also into reviewing things that I enjoyed. So things that I've seen recently that I've enjoyed, or things from long ago. Like, I haven't watched the Red Flag Ronnie in a while because, like I said, once or twice, I think that it's been taken down off of YouTube and I don't have it copied. But I had watched those a number of times. Red Flag Ronnie 1, Red Flag Ronnie 2. I love those. Those are the bomb. Let's see. And yeah, I recommend for everyone to be very careful of the garbage that they consume, because YouTube tends to produce garbage because people want the clicks, the likes, and the subs. And I'm just so happy to be on YouTube. It's nice. It's good to have some clicks, some likes, and some subscribers, because that keeps you on YouTube. But one of my biggest complaints about YouTube right now is that the channels that I've subbed to, I don't always get their videos in my feed, but I get videos in my feed from channels that I've blocked, you guys. Like, that's the propaganda of the platform. Like, like when I want to watch Ara's videos, I have to dig, even though I'm subscribed to her and I can type in Ara Kylie Rodney and I still have to dig. Like that's called shadow banning. And I know people have told me that they're subbed to me, and even if they don't get unsubbed, they have trouble finding my videos. So, yeah. And then when they're promoting, I said a name yesterday of a new channel, and I said Nico, I meant Nika, and I'm not going to say the rest of it. But, you know, I just can't do the whole show person thing. I mean, sure, you have to be a little bit of a show person. You have to have your lighting. You have to have your noise, your sound under control. You have to make yourself presentable. I mean, it's hard to watch people that are not presented well, in my opinion. It's like look away from the screen when the lighting's really bad, when, it's just like, I mean, so many content creators don't even show themselves on YouTube. And some of them, it's probably because they want the privacy, but some of them it's just because they're not wanting to put all the effort in that it takes to present yourself on the screen. And I probably don't look like I do that much because I don't, but I do try to like brush my teeth and comb my hair and clean my glasses and make sure I have clothes on. So, and it's always a problem. There's always something. So let's see. We're still trying to get started. Regards to Nick. I just feel something is eating at Nick. I shall just listen now as to not disrupt chat. You're fine. I agree with you that something could be eating at him, but I think that he's simply trying to launch his own channel, and that's what he's fighting for. He's not fighting for justice. He's fighting for Nick. Like, I just think it's gross to do that on the back of a deceased kid, a deceased little girl. Like, you're the one that has to live with yourself. Like, when you're 80, you might have a little trouble facing yourself, looking back to when you were 40 and you did that MF crap. It's disgusting. And, I'm happy to call these people out. I don't like doing it. I don't want to be the bad guy. I don't want to be bashing people. I don't want to be mean. But when it comes to truth and justice and defending Kylie, like, who the F has defended Kylie? So I'm trying so hard to keep up with you guys and get into the case. So I'm going to keep trying to get scrolled up to speed. Let's see, how much do I have to go? And then get into the case, because I got a lot of great stuff I feel like sharing with you guys. The thing is, we also shouldn't be taking all of this out on Nick R. Either way, our anger should be directed at law enforcement. They did what they said they were there to do. I just don't appreciate being gaslit. Your wording reminds me of that interview and the redhead saying, people, you all need to understand that Nick was just a volunteer and he was just doing his job. Yeah, he chose to volunteer for that. And yeah, he got paid for that. So you're trying to say that he was just there out of the goodness of his heart, but it was a job. You can't have it both ways. It's one or the other. Duty Ron said, oh, well, Nick is bringing himself to us here on a Friday night for over an hour and nobody twisted his arm and made him do this. He wanted to do this. Yeah, because he's trying to promote himself. He's trying to dig himself out of a hole that he's put himself in by not standing up for truth for Kylie. I mean, dude, do the right thing, Nick. Do the right thing. That's it. I don't want to keep going down that road. The gaslighting is messed up. Played like we haven't been paying attention. I know. And it's so easy to get tricked. I want to go back to something that Jagger said early on, something that he posted. Thank you so much, Squirrels on Fire. I had to take a call. Squirrels on Fire. Thank you all. MJ Maxey, I am forever grateful to Nick for locating and diving on car, why wouldn't anybody want to show their work on how they conclude accident? So simple. Nicely said. Just the creeping crud for John Courtney. Yeah, I hate being sick. Be back, my computer crashed. Oh no. Yeah. Hello everyone, outdoorsy life. And John Courtney says if you look at Scammy's parents' company, you will find they have so much jurisdiction. They are posting jobs if anyone is interested. It is so bizarre. Oh my goodness. If anyone's interested in getting a job with them, would that be wild? How scary. Hi everyone. I'm going to head out to the store real quick and I will be back to enjoy you friends of mine. We'll get some veggies and protein, Michael, you know. Evening all, Crime Watch with Kenny says, or whatever time it is, wherever you are, how you doing, lovely souls? Nice to see you, Kenny. Back, sorry, LOL. Um, you saw being sued. Dang, I see his face. A kid from AWP. JR Nana Boomer. And let's see, everyone should be telling the truth about what happened to Kylie. I love Shan's quote. It's so simple. Tell the truth for Kylie. Tell the truth for Kylie. That is how many words? Tell the truth for Kylie. 5 words, a handful of words. That's all you need, words to live by. I think Nick feels the same way as most of us, but he has to be careful as he is closer to the case than us. I respect that. I do and I don't. I mean, he could single-handedly flip this thing over and get some real traction going. So I empathize, but I I don't. I don't really think he's doing the right thing. I honestly don't. I think he's doing the wrong thing. I think he's covering his behind and he's choosing that over justice. And if you let thugs threaten you and control you, you're just giving them more power, in my opinion. Everything they had, all the work that law enforcement was supposed to do, passed on to them. That is why there is no records that can be found. Squirrel says maybe if they release the entirety of it, we might find out if Jared is an even bigger scumbag than we already knew. Of course he is. Of course he is. He was playing this from jump. I honestly think the only reason that he got involved was to blow up his channel and blow up the income. And yeah, they knew how to play it. He is probably, in my opinion, the one who sent Nick G out to do all that. Yeah. And then to say like, well, we've got other videos that, you know, we'll show depending on how things go. Like, so basically he's trying to say, I know stuff you don't know and don't you want to know? So, you know, he's trying to get people to subscribe. I did it. I did the $5 a month subscription for a few months, probably like 30 bucks worth. I don't remember, but you know, I'd like to get my money back and then some because I was scammed. I mean, it's just like Jeffy Poo. I got scammed for $5 from him, like a lot of you probably did too. And you know, I was very skeptical of Jeffy Poo with AWP. I was like, oh, I'm in. These are the good guys, right? Yeah, it would have been funny if instead of being at Best Buy, they were at the good guys, wouldn't it? Let's see. Crime Watch says, I think it's far too easy to look at it from a spectator's point of view. I, for one, could not in a million years do what Nick did. That said, it's sometimes better to say nothing at all. Crime Watch, you're not saying there's honor in silence. I know you wouldn't say that. That's what mobsters say. You're not one of those, are you? Angel says Nick said he only saw what was her shoes. Right, but we know that one was on and one was off in the autopsy, so that doesn't even make sense. That tangled web is woven deep. People are scared. Yeah, I get it that people are scared, but again, you don't want to fuel the fire. You got to fight fire with fire. So if people are scaring you, then be very public and speak out. If you're very public and you're speaking out and something happens to you, then it's going to be really obvious. And I don't know about you, but I can't live in fear. I can't stand uh, the lack of freedom. Like, you gotta do what's right. You can't let others control you. You cannot live in fear. You can't make fear based decisions. I can't. I mean, I guess I can only speak for myself. I just can't, and I won't. And yeah, let's see. I mean, I've been in situations like that. I have. And you know what? It's not fun, but I don't see any alternative to doing the right thing. I really don't. And it's never too late to do the right thing. It's always a good time to do the right thing. It's fine if you made the mistake and didn't do the right thing. Just do it. Let's see. Man, you guys are so chatty. I cannot keep up. I don't want to miss all of this, though. So let me keep trying, but I do want to get to my notes. Okay. I believe that they had all the work that law enforcement, and yeah, I think I read all that. Maybe if they release the entirety. See, this is what happens when I rewind. Did you see that I can never remember his name? I want to call him Josh. Maybe that's his name, but he's the one who showed the air balloon, and I can't remember. The head of the AWP is suing him. Right, that's Jared. Yep, yeah, I saw that. And he's basically going out on the streets of YouTube trying to make money to pay for an attorney. Money, 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 you guys. That's what it's all about. And all of these cases are about money. And I'm sure that Kylie Rodney, just like the Idaho 4, all about money. So let me get into some of this stuff. I'm sorry that I can't keep up with you guys. I'm trying so hard and you're just too talkative, but I appreciate it and I love your comments, so it's tough. Very tough to miss them. I hate it. Excuse me. No time to hate. So, Kylie Rodney. What was it that Jägermeister said that I was reviewing in one of my early videos last night or this morning? And the exact quote, I'll give you a summary, was something to the effect, he posted something that said, I hope that you're happy. I hope it's everything you wanted. I'm paraphrasing. I'm going to just speed up. If you guys remember the quote or can find the quote, it was posted on social media and it really implied to me that he knew she was self-injurious and that he was implying that she offed herself. And I kind of forgot about that. So when I reviewed the video and saw that part, I was like, holy crap, man. This is one of the many reasons why I can't let go of Jagger being culpable of something. I mean, a cover-up if nothing else. But that quote and the implication, and I just think it's very suspicious. What else do I want to say about that? The timing of when he said it, I don't remember if that was after she was found. Probably after she was located. Um, but that's the other thing that was so suspicious in that whole case was when Scammy said, no, that's not where she was located. When she said that to Dodgy Dude, Dodgy Douchebag, located, that was weird. And she caught herself and she like cut herself off before she even completely finished the word, I think. But that whole dodgy dude was dodgy AF. The whole freaking thing, you guys. What if I did some theorizing in the last 24 hours? Run with me, okay? What if Kylie's mother and father in law went to Hot August Nights in Reno? What if Kylie invited some friends over the way a lot of teenagers would? And probably that time of year, there might not be guests at the lodge. I know they had a full house a week before, but I don't know if they had any guests that weekend. So let's just go with this theory that Kylie invited some friends over. And then let's theorize that maybe an enemy came over, somebody who felt very competitive with her, and they slipped her something in her drink, and people had their way with her. I'm sorry to say these things, but it's just a theory that I've come up with. Um, and it's kind of a new theory, but it kind of ties a lot of things together. And what if her parents came home, her mother and Tony, and they flipped out and they got really angry and they were mad at Kylie because they blamed her for inviting her friends over and they didn't know exactly what had happened. And what if after that everything went completely sideways, toe up, you guys? So this is kind of going with that theory that Kenny and Mark have often had, that maybe something happened at the lodge, and maybe that was why it was so important to play her hand the way the mother played her hand, to get the attention off of her, off of the house, and off of the teenagers. I mean, how many times did they say, nobody's going to get in any trouble for anything? We just want to know what happened to Kylie. Nobody's going to be held accountable for anything. We just want to know where she is. Like, that was so bizarre. Like, they were literally saying, we're not going to press charges against anybody for anything. We're just trying to locate her. That's all. And then we're done. And that's pretty much what they did. They located her and then they were done. And then they freaking cremated her. They did a shoddy fake autopsy. I mean, I guess you could give them credit for sticking to their word, but not really. Like, it's freaking crazy. Crazier than crazy. Um, and we watched this unfold in real time, this narrative. Oops, accident. What the hell? Yeah, this situation, as they're calling it now on the duty show. Um, my dad would say to me when I was a little boy, saying something nice or don't say anything at all. Squirrel says it's crazy how many different narratives they put out there to avoid talking about the truth. Right. I mean, to go with the whole self-injurious thing, and then to go with the whole abducted by aliens, I mean, strangers thing. Um, and then, well, they kind of went with the running away thing, kind of similar to the self-injurious. Um, yeah. And then drunk driving accident. Like, come on, you're not going to have the Marines there for a drunk driving accident. Thanks, Shan, for catching that. How did we all miss that? Regional Marines? Unless they're talking about like some other type of marina people. Like, Marines were there? Seriously? I mean, the whole thing with Homeland Security and the feds and um, oh man, marshals. They had U.S. Marshals there, you guys. That doesn't happen for a missing kid. It just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen for a car accident. That doesn't happen for a drunk driving accident. And I want to honor Shan and Illuminated Mind for hammering away on the, um, I think, accidental, on purpose mistake that many people make, like Duty Ron, saying that the California Highway report has come in and said it was an accident. No, it freaking hasn't come in. It has not come in. Why would it take them 16 months plus for a car accident report, you guys? That is 1000% dog duty. Why would they keep saying that? Trying to make it sound like the higher authority of the whole state of California has called it an accident, and they haven't. They haven't called it anything. The autopsy called it an accident. The California State Highway Patrol has yet to complete a report. That's crazy. That's what they do when they don't want to have to share when people make public records requests. They just leave things open ended for years. I've seen it happen for 5 years, 10 years. They leave the case open for no good reason, and they say we can't fill your public records request because it's an ongoing active investigation. Really? That's your story and you're sticking to it? One side was look for necklace. Oh my goodness, MJ. Yeah. Phone. Grandpa was like, if you find car, you find Kylie. Yeah, the bumper. And we just remembered. We just remembered that there's hubcaps. And we just remembered that there's a sunroof. We just remembered that there's a sticker of a cow with horns. We keep remembering things because, we have our same think brain that issues thoughts to all of us at the same time. Yeah, maybe it's her parents. Maybe that's the same think brain that issues thoughts to them. That was so freaking weird. And this is why it's great when people talk, because they slip up and they say things that they didn't mean to say. Like, that's crazy. We just remembered. We didn't just remember one thing. We just remembered a handful of things. Oh, is that so, my dear? Marine people were just S&R divers, search and rescue divers, and boat operators, not United States Marine Corps, in my opinion. That's what I was wondering, Fred Field. LOL, they work in a marine environment. That's totally what I was wondering from the context of it, but I really couldn't tell. And yeah, it's still very odd that they had the U.S. Marshals and Homeland Security there in addition to the 14 other entities. They said there were 16 law enforcement entities out there, agencies. And then for AWP, for Nick and Devin to say, well, we don't know who was there. We were in the boats and they were on shore and nobody told us, and they didn't have identifying information on their t-shirts or name tags. Yeah, they actually did have identifying information on their t-shirts and name tags. If you go back and watch some of the freaking videos, they did. They had the letters that said who they were and what they were and where they were from. Goodness, you can't have it both ways. Lying lie is gonna lie, right? Alameda County, Sammy asking if anyone finds car parts, etc. Yeah, if you find a muffler, damage to Kylie's car, reports of girl running around unclothed, and they say we're crazy for wanting to know the truth. Right. So I don't know if you caught my video yesterday, Kenny. I am wondering now, like Shan and many others, if her car was dragged out into the water with a boat, because as it says in today's title, how on earth did a 15 and a half foot SUV flip over the way they keep describing, the way cars, flip over nose first because the engine is so heavy, and the car wasn't even in that position. It was like turned around. So it sounds like it was probably drug out there, which would make sense for the damage. I mean, even that simple damage on the driver's side rear view mirror was never explained. Never freaking explained. Um, yeah. I wonder, I'm just thinking out loud right now, I wonder how often they were planning to go down there and mess with stuff, like with their little underwater propeller jet and put stuff down there and take stuff away and mess stuff up. I wonder if that was going to be like a routine thing just until it was just like a freaking blender and you couldn't tell up from down and black from white. I mean, that was probably the plan. That's probably why they were so mad and continue to be so mad that AWP located her so quickly. Um, Crime Watch says that would make sense as to why the rear belt was hanging out the back to stop Kylie from coming out if it turned while towing it out. Oh my goodness, Kenny. Isn't that just so disgusting that these kids did this to this girl? And then Jaeger's protecting people. Yeah, nice. And then Lindsay's protecting people. And then Nick R is protecting people. Like, shut the F up, you guys. Like, step up, tell the truth for Kylie. Nico says, don't forget all the items mentioned by Scammy, all caught on video laying at right angles when discovered. Nico, you are sharp. Yeah, didn't she like give a laundry list of all of those items pretty much? And yep, then they're all found there like perfectly lined up, like just 3 inches from the window. Yeah, good point. Good point. Um, so when I was speaking yesterday about River Phoenix and his misfortune at the Viper Room, I mentioned the guy who had been missing for 22 years yesterday. Yesterday was the 22nd anniversary of that guy going missing, Anthony Fox. And his middle name is Vivian. So Anthony Vivian Fox. I had just realized right before I started my video that it was exactly 22 years to the day. And I was like, holy crap, man, what are the chances? Weird, right? So I kind of got derailed from telling you something really important about who he was and what was going on. I mentioned that he was Johnny Depp's business partner, like a co owner of the Viper Room. But what I failed to mention was that he was suing Johnny Depp for misappropriation of funds, and it was right before the trial that he went missing. And he's been missing for 22 years. So it was December 19th, 2001, I believe, the date he went missing. Anthony Fox. I'm pretty sure that's his name. I don't have it in front of me. Anthony Vivian Fox. I think he was in his 50s. But when I reviewed my video, I was like, oh, I totally muddied that up. I did not get the point across that it's not like he ran away from home, like Kylie, like people tried to pretend that Kylie did. No, he disappeared and he still has yet to be found. So he was suing Mr. Depp for stealing his money, basically. That's what he was accusing him of, and that's what the lawsuit, how it was filed. And so then when he disappeared, then the trial never happened and the lawsuit just, disintegrated into thin air. Not looking good for the pirate, right? I never, until this past weekend, thought anything shady about him simply because he owned the Viper Room where this situation happened with River. But when I did some diving over the weekend and learned what I learned, I thought it's looking really shady for Depp. And then the thing about his business partner, whoa, dude, like, really? Friday I had said I was a fan of Johnny Depp's, and I was, and I'm pretty sure that's past tense now because um, I don't know that he's ever really come out publicly and expressed concern for River Phoenix losing his life when he was 23 years old. And as I mentioned yesterday, he was getting ready to film a movie with Winona Ryder, who was Johnny Depp's ex girlfriend, and Johnny was already hooked up with Kate Moss, but he was concerned that River and Winona would have started dating, and yeah, they probably would have. That happens a lot. But anyway, whatever it was that was ingested into River's body was toxic times 8, fatally toxic times 8. So the chances of him doing that on his own are pretty much slim to nil, in my opinion. It's easy, in my opinion, to take someone out with an overdose if they have a history of using. It's really easy to say, oh, well, they slipped, or they relapsed, or they just overdid it. It's so scary. So anybody who's ever abused hardcore substances like that, and then somebody wants to take them out, it's pretty simple. So Kristen Pfaff was sober and had a history of hard substance abuse. And then she suddenly died of an overdose the night before she was leaving Seattle to move back to Minnesota. She was the bass player for Hole. That was 4 months after Kurt Cobain overdosed on so much substance that he also had many times the lethal amount, but then somehow he blew his head off with a shotgun after ingesting all that. Sure. Um, and then 2 years prior to that, Stephanie Sargent, who also had a history of substance abuse, of, the hard stuff. She also was sober, and she also just happened to relapse and die of an overdose. And she was in a band that you guys have heard me mention a handful of times called 7 Year Bitch, and they were going places. So all of these bands, Nirvana, Hole, 7 Year Bitch, and the Gits that Mia Zapata was in, they were all Capitol Hill bands. They all lived within a 1 or 2 mile square of each other in this really hip, cool, trendy part of Capitol Hill. So in all of these deaths, it was the same police chief, it was the same coroner. And the allegations are that there was somebody sleeping with both of those people. So 92 was the year that Stephanie Sargent dropped, just was taken out. 93 was the year that Mia Zapata was taken out by a guy who was later convicted 10 years later for doing it. He passed away from COVID a couple years ago. I'm not convinced that he did that on his own accord. He could have been hired. But she was, Mia Zapata is still considered the greatest punk rock female singer of all time. So anyway, very, very close physical proximity, close time proximity, all in the summer, June, July, for Stephanie Sargent, Mia Zapata, and then Kristen Pfaff. And then 4 months before Kristen Pfaff was Kurt Cobain. I mean, what a dreadful time, and what bad luck. What bad freaking luck. And it's the police chief in one of these more recent interviews, like in that Soaked in Bleach, who said that if he was the police chief now, he would reopen Kurt Cobain's case. So, I don't know. It's too bad that he was the police chief then and he's fouled it up, maybe, in his opinion. Anyway, I kind of got off on a tangent there. I have a lot of passion for that situation, but my point is that when people have a history of substance abuse, it's kind of an easy, um, accidental, self inflicted, natural occurrence. It can be made to look like a natural, accidental, self inflicted occurrence. You catch my drift? It's gross. It's absolutely gross. So, let's see. The It's terrible when I can't read my writing. I think I wrote Maui. Um, and I did want to talk about Maui because I got my t-shirt yesterday. I was so excited and I was supposed to wear it today for you guys. I'll try to wear it tomorrow. It says Maui Massacre. I told you guys I ordered one from Brush Junkie and it came in the mail yesterday and I was like, "What's this? I didn't order anything, huh?" I think the company was Justice Now, and then I opened it up and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I did order this." So I don't usually order stuff online. Anyway, I'm really excited that I have my Maui Massacre shirt. It's very nice, and the money goes to a good cause. So I wanted to show it off for you guys and see if you were interested in ordering some. That you could contact Tracy from Brush Junkie, who is the one who designed them, and she's extremely organized. You guys probably know she is from Hawaii. She currently lives in Los Angeles, but she still owns a property in Hawaii, and she's one of the front runners, her and Eric West, who just keep putting fresh information out about the current status of what's going on with the Lahaina fires. And it is tragic beyond measure on so many levels. Still, there's so many missing people that are not being accounted for. I just don't even know where to begin with all of that. But the active, hot issue right now, I think the day after tomorrow is when there's going to be some type of city council meeting to bury the toxic ash in what is called Pele's womb. It's a very porous container that's like on the mountain upstream from the ocean, just like maybe 2,000 feet. So if that gets dumped in there, and it's not tons of ash, it's cubed yards of ash. So I forget if it's like 200,000 or 400,000. And a lot of people say tons of, but no, it's not tons of, it's cubic yards of. So it's a lot. It's a lot, a lot. I think Eric West equated it to like 20 Olympic sized swimming pools stacked on top of each other. Um, and we don't even know what's in that toxic ash. Like, I'm sure human remains, obviously. Also, ancestors and their ashes were burned in the fire, and so they're included in there. There's like asbestos and heavy metals. Um, there's just a lot of horrible stuff that if that gets dumped into there, and it sounds like it's going to, that it's going to create. Oh my goodness, I'm so glad I remembered this because this was something that's in my notebook. Eric West coined this phrase, and I was like, man, freaking genius. Am I going to say it right? Maui Chernobyl. You guys know about Chernobyl, right? That's what we're looking at. It's going to be, I mean, it's already bad. There's no going to be about how freaking awful it is. But it's going to get worse. They're only going to make the situation worse if they do foolish things like that. And I think they've got the Army Corps of Engineers in there, but why didn't they have military showing up like on day one? Like, that's suspicious in my opinion, that things weren't right. It took a long time to get a response, from FEMA, even from all of the essential entities that needed to be involved. It took too long. And then, of course, there pretty much was no real response in real time when it was happening. And I say that keeping in mind that there were first responders out there doing their jobs to the best of their ability. And I've seen some of them in interviews give their testimonials about how effed up it was. And for the most part, the ones that I've heard talk have huge questions. Like, they're not defending anything. They're like, WTF. These are law enforcement officers and firefighters, ship captains. These are reputable pillars of society who should have been the people deployed to rescue and save people's lives. And that's not how it happened. It's really crazy, you guys. I mean, at first when it happened, I thought it can't be, it just can't be some orchestrated event. Like, that's just too crazy. And then when it was looking like it was based on the evidence, I was still just like, no, that's got to just be, those theories that come out of the woodwork when something happens. There's always those theories that come out, especially on the internet, especially on YouTube. And I just kept trying to suspend my disbelief of it all. And in my opinion, the evidence is abundantly clear that some serious effery, land grab, water rights grab. When you look at the dates of like the water rights applications that the native islanders that won the rights after like a 20-year lawsuit, that they had to get their application in by August 7th, I think was the deadline, the day before the fires happened. And then I just happened to have this in my hands. What do you know? The emergency proclamation related to housing. I think this is like 26 pages. August 23, wildfires, information and latest updates. Why were they calling them wildfires before there was an investigation? Because they've said that they're not going to know what caused these fires for like another year and a few months. Like a few months ago, they said 18 months. But yet here they're calling them wildfires, and this was in September. This was early September that I printed this. So, the proclamation, what do I have highlighted here? Hawaii has the most expensive housing prices in the United States because we have failed to sufficiently build homes for our residents. Our current housing shortage has led to a crisis of increasing homelessness. Okay, so that's interesting. They've failed historically to build homes for the people there. So, create a big emergency and start with a clean slate? I don't know. Anyway, I just thought it was interesting that this happened to surface in my possession today. It was literally in this envelope, in this like Priority Express mail envelope, and I didn't even know what was in it. I just picked it up and I'm like, interesting. Because like I said, I just got that t-shirt in the mail last night that I ordered a few weeks ago. And that stuff is crazy. And again, we've got that police chief, the mayor, and the governor all still standing. Like, why aren't they put on an administrative leave and under investigation? WTF, you guys. Calling it a wildfire before any investigation was done is equivalent to them calling it an accident before a CHP report came out. Same group of corruption. These patterns are showing 100%, Shan, so well said. And then tying it into Idaho, because these three cases are the ones that have had my attention. The Idaho case where they insinuated that everything was done with one weapon, where if you read closely in even the PCA, the words that they use describe potentially 3 or 4 different weapons. So, gouged, I think, want to give a nice little alert, right? The trigger warning. We all know that Kaylee was described as having gouges, right? And like 56 or 7 of them? That's overkill. That's a crime of passion. That's personal. That's personal. No way around it. Um, let's see. Was it Ethan who was described as being sliced? You know, with the hamstrings, with the Achilles heel. I don't know if that's true and accurate. And then Xana, we know, had major uh, defense wounds on her hands from grabbing a straight edged weapon. And then I want to say with Ethan, they didn't know, they couldn't really define or determine his injuries and what type of weapon it was until the autopsy. So they couldn't tell from the naked eye like they could with Xana or Maddie or Kaylee. But man, what a freaking tragedy. And I want to direct you guys over to Drip Drop's new drop. If you haven't seen it yet, I will link that in the description here too. Where are we at? We're just over an hour. So let me catch up with a couple more of your comments. Politicians and the white cartel. Is that right? The white cartel? Have their hands say in all of this stuff. I couldn't imagine. Horrific. Yeah, and see, when you use that C word, people freak out and they're like, oh, conspiracy theorist. People don't understand that this is a thing. You know, it was kind of made light of with television shows like The Sopranos. You know, it was kind of like glorified, like, oh, isn't that cool? Um, and it happens in every city across our country. There's so much money involved with illegal substances and trafficking. Um, and deals are made with law enforcement, deals are made with local city governments so that everybody profits. And it's nothing new. It's action. Am I back? You said that I lost my connection, so maybe I should wrap it up. That's so annoying. It's just one thing after another. Are you guys there? Can you hear me? Testing, testing. Oh my goodness. Squirrel says, yikes, you started buffering as soon as you said the C word. Shan, thank you for pointing that out because I was thinking it was just, oh, because I've been on for 63 minutes or whatever. Ain't that a quinky dink? Wow. You guys saw it right here. Right here. Like that's only happened once. That thing where it just says that you're disconnected, failed to connect, hit this to reconnect. It only happened once and it happened about a week ago. I'm pretty sure I was talking about the Hamburglar when it happened. You guys, you can't make this crap up. You can't. Truth is always stranger than fiction. The details that we were given are really sus AF. Steve G plus the coroner said things that make me feel sick. You know, I was going to leave the whole Steve G thing alone, but maybe I'll talk about it because I've said it again and again, and I want to reiterate my full support for the families of the victims. Full support for all of the family members of all of the victims. And none of them are behaving badly, especially Steve. In my opinion, I think Steve rocks. Like, it's a free country. I know we all need to be careful. In my opinion, he has tried to convey that things are not what they seem and that people need to be skeptical of the information that they're given. Like, why are we being given some information and not other information? So we were given a knife sheath early on, right? We were given the wrong car kind of midway on. And then it doesn't make sense that there's a gag order that they're gonna, they say they're gonna keep their cards close to their chest, but then they let out these big things. So lately, the last few days, there's been all the rigmarole, all the banter with Steve G and his communication with one of the content creators who I won't name. You guys all know who it is. Um, and I just think, don't put it on the victim, don't put it on the family member, put it on the content creator. We know what we're doing up here. I mean, we all might make mistakes, but we know the information that we're trying to put out, and we know that we're trying to make money. Some of us trying to get clicks, trying to get likes, trying to be the biggest and the baddest and the best. That's bogus. What does that matter if you don't have truth and integrity? Those are the most important things. It's not money. It's not any of that. It's just ludicrous. So I don't think anybody should be telling Steve what to say, what to do. He lost his child, and however it is that he needs to conduct himself, he knows what he's doing. He has an attorney. He knows. And I'm not saying he's perfect. I'm just saying that there's no wrong way to grieve, and there's no wrong way to respond in a situation like that. And it's just sad to me that he keeps getting thrown up into the public eye and sliced and diced. Like, don't you think things are bad enough for the guy? Seriously. Um, what else do I want to say about that? Let me read what you guys are saying. The details that were given. Yeah. Buffering here too, again. I think they are trying to lead a narrative about what happened and why. So the thing about the front door being opened in the Idaho 4 case, you guys remember that? It was open at about 8:30, the door on the first floor, allegedly for half an hour or so, and that was reported by neighbors. And then Chief Fry said, "Oh, nobody told me that. I didn't know anything about it." And I think it was 1111 Turo. I watched a video of hers last night, and she spoke of how, in her opinion, it's really important when somebody passes away to open a window or a door so that they know they don't get stuck, that they can go. And I thought that was a beautiful way to look at it, but I kind of wasn't thinking that that's what whoever left that door open might have been thinking. Who knows? It's very odd. It's very odd that the door was left open. It's very odd that the police chief wouldn't have known about that. That's a huge piece of information that can be indicative of many, many things. It could be that the person that did it left out that door and left the door open. But that doesn't coincide with the PCA and Dylan's report. So it seems like that PCA is malarkey. Much of it, if not most of it, if not all of it. I mean, it's just crazy. It's really crazy that a rookie of the year somebody trying to call me. I don't know if it blacked out my voice. So, you guys, one thing after another. Let me try to keep up with you. I don't want to know what Steve and others are going through. Oh, I know. It's insane, isn't it? I remember that from the beginning of the Idaho 4 case. And that was early on when I saw it, but I don't remember whose YouTube channel it was. About the door being open, because, yeah, that's been on a lot of channels, and it's resurfaced over just the last 24, 48 hours. So I've seen it on a few channels in the last day, and I think it's been on more channels that I haven't seen. So one sec. I am getting quite the dry mouth. You guys, I want to thank you for joining me. My apologies for problems with this, that, and the other. I'll show you my cute sign again that I worked so diligently on yesterday. Do you like it? I don't know. I feel mixed about it, but it was a lot of hard work and it was fun. I love little projects like that. And you know, it's just Sharpie, but you know how hard it is to work with Sharpie and to not make mistakes. So I made some mistakes, but overall, I'm pleased with how it turned out. From, you know, the vision that I had in mind to the end product is pretty close. And that rarely happens, right? Like what you want to do and then what you actually do if you ever get to it. That was a project that I'd been planning on doing for a long time. So I finally got that done. Because this sign that I did without a stencil is just too big. So I wanted a smaller one, and um, you know, I've bought little like chalkboards and those little letters, the plastic letters that go in the things, but I just haven't wanted to use those because I like it to be handmade. So anyway, please hit that like button, and always remember that love will save the day for every single one of us, every single day, every single time. Seriously, I feel like it's important for me to remember that. Um, Buffering again, but now it's good. Good to know. Thank you. So, peace out. Have a lovely afternoon. I will hopefully see you guys tomorrow. And just, I hope you're having a really good week and that you're getting your nourishment, your emotional and intellectual nourishment, as well as your physical nourishment. Get your emotional and psychological exercise, your intellectual exercise, as well as physical. Just be well, be yourself, and stay hydrated. Eat your protein, eat your veggies. I always want to remind me and you to eat the veggies because that is key, in my opinion. That's like, if you don't do anything else, if you just can't because you know you're so stressed out with life and the holidays, just eat your flippin' veggies. And if you can't eat them, drink them. Just get those veggies into your body and you'll do okay. My words of wisdom for the day. Thanks so much, you guys. Sending you love, sending you light, and please remember to like the live. Thanks, Nico. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Love you guys, and take